one and all to another round of the Bourbon Tournament. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., joined by two indomitable broadcast partners this evening, the one, the only,
the Blend Master, Tony G. Like, share, subscribe.
And also joined by...
Jermz. How you doing?
Yes, Jermz has returned to us this evening. He is going to be our third judge because here we are going over the entire Maker's Mark base offering. And we're going to decide which one of these four bourbons will represent the Maker's Mark Distillery in the Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament, folks. Keep your eyes on this space for that. But we got to find the entrance first. So, today we are going into one of the most popular wheated bourbons, one of the best-selling wheated bourbons in the world, Maker's Mark. So we're going to start off with their base offering. It's one that you can pretty much find anywhere, if I had to suspect. I mean,
in most gas stations.
Most gas stations.
Matter of fact, that's where I purchased that very bottle.
Most countries. Yes, and actually this video is going to go up on Christmas, and the previous Christmas video that's getting uploaded this day actually references this very bottle. So, weird how things all come together. Okay. Screw off cap. That's fine. That's fine.
Yep, no cork on this one.
Jermz needs just a little more. He's got to catch up. And there we go.
We're not that deep into the night, thankfully.
Yes, yes. So, there is the first line, Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark.
Then we've got Maker's 46, which is...
pretty excited for this one.
Finished with oak stave, so this is additional aging.
I've never tried Maker's 46, but everybody says it blows regular out of the water, so I'm pretty excited for that one.
I've had it once. It's actually not too bad.
All right. Well, don't oversell it, Phil.
I know, but it's
pretty okay.
It's pretty all right.
It's better than Maker's Mark. I will say it is actually worth the markup. That's
okay. All right.
So I've had this once.
Do you know why they call it 46?
I do not, but I do know that this one does receive additional aging.
I was going to say, is it different ABV?
Oh, God. You're supposed
Maker's is 45%, so 90 proof.
This is 47%, so 94 proof.
Okay.
And then, this is one that I have had, my brother's had. This is just released this year. Maker's 101. You had to go to duty-free stores or you had to go to the distillery to get this. Until this year, they released it to the general public just now. So
I've heard a lot of good about this. People rave about the 101. So this is another one I'm actually looking forward to.
My brother and I already killed a bottle of this before we could even review it.
Okay.
Which, that says a lot for me. Another twist off, but that's
really
fine.
That's a twist.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
Got to have enough to consider the whiskey, sir.
Right.
All right, and which one do you want this one in?
Right here. Save the fancy one for one I really know and like.
Yes, and then last but certainly not least,
It's going to be hard to beat this one.
Maker's Mark Private Select Oak Stave Selection by the Still here in Lincoln, Nebraska. 109.2 proof, 54.6% ABV.
It's a hot bourbon.
It's hot, but it don't drink like one.
No. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's so smooth.
Yes, and I have designs for the
And
wax, so I'm keeping
no,
it
this
all.
is specific. But there are tons and tons and tons of Maker's Mark store picks all across the country. Can you give us any of the profile on this one that makes it unique?
Okay, it has several different oak finishing staves. Some of them include Baked American Pure No. 2, Seared French Cuvée, Maker's 46, Roasted French Mocha, and you have the choice of Toasted French Spice. This one decided not to opt with that. So just the four that I listed previously make up this one. And we've had this before, and it's a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one. I don't know how else to put it. So It's going to be really tough for any of these other whiskeys to...
For those of you not expecting Maker's Mark to be a top shelf bourbon, this is a contender.
Yeah, this one is. This particular Maker's, the Private Select, actually is a contender. All right. So we are going to go through the line here, gentlemen, and we are going to give some grades. Now, I think for expediency purpose, I think we're going to just grade them as a bourbon.
Okay.
And then shelving.
All right.
And just for expediency purpose.
That's fair.
And then we get into the eliminations where we make the case for each bourbon why it should and why it shouldn't move on. So this is not only a taste testing, but it's also a test of our Aristotelian logic. So
Bring it on.
we start with the base Maker's offering.
All right.
Let's give it a
It's
nose,
been a minute
folks.
since I've had the original.
There's wheat, but slight metallic.
I was gonna say
Quality
it
to the
reminds me
nose.
of like if you took, if you're running like a sweet auger in a wheat grain bin.
Yeah. Now again,
Sorry if that's over your head.
we both worked in mills for a good chunk of our lives. So
Yeah.
now, what are you getting off this, Jermz?
Whiskey.
Ah,
Whiskey.
It's, I mean,
He's getting a nose of
interesting.
it's just,
whiskey.
From what region, sir?
actually,
Let's-
it's potent.
Yes.
It is, but there's something there. Some kind of candy that I can't put my nose on.
There's a sweetness and a bitterness there.
Yeah, it got the sweetness is overtaken by the bitter, but it really opens your throat up. It's hot, but not too hot. It tastes hotter than it is,
Yes.
but it really just opens up all your senses.
Like, I would say the sweetness is like a very diluted candy cane.
Yeah.
Would you agree, sir? What
That could be.
what flavors are you picking up, Jermz, other than whiskey?
Whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm
you
not
know,
catching sweet out of it.
for Maker's base, I think Jerm's particular review is actually pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty
pretty
accurate.
right on. What's it taste like?
Brown liquor.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
And all right, fair enough, fair enough. So we move onward and upward.
Are we rating it first, or are we?
Oh
moving
yes.
Ooh.
All right, as a bourbon, against every bourbon you've ever had, what would you rate Maker's? Because we will have a full in-depth review on this later. Eyes on this space.
Bourbon baseline, I guess. If you're going 5, go 2.5.
2.5 stars, so it's right there in the middle for you.
I was gonna say 3 because I've had a lot of bad American bourbon for $20 or cheaper, and this is probably better than most of those.
I could do some mixing with this, so
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
go 2.75 because this would be a
Okay.
good. You've had a rough Tuesday and you just want to mix something with some cola while you watch some TV before you go to bed.
As a whiskey, it's probably a 2.25 for me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll get into that later. So we move onward and up. Oh, and shelving.
This is bottom. Sorry.
This would be a bottom shelver for me.
Yeah.
I think we all agree. So, alrighty. We move onward and upward to now Maker's 46.
All right. This one I'm eager for. This one's got more of a mintiness on the nose.
Yeah, let me-
A cooler. It's a much cooler sensation on your nose.
No alcohol burn through.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. There,
This
you
one
know,
smells a little hot. This one.
yeah, this
does
one's
not
got
smell hot.
mint, but I'm not picking up the sweet that you're expecting from a wheat.
Yeah. No, I like the nose. I really do.
Well, gentlemen,
All right.
as they say in Gaelic, Slanjiva. There we go.
Much cooler. Much less spice. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
Yeah, the spice is when the oxygen hits your mouth when you open it.
Yeah, it opens up the same way the original does, but this
A
has...
spicy brown sugar,
Yeah.
vanilla,
I was thinking vanilla extract, but there's...
slight caramel sweetness, but not very much.
The grain I'm tasting doesn't taste like wheat to me, though. Honestly, it feels more like sweet corn.
Zero bite.
There's a coffee element
Nope.
here.
Yeah.
In the nose, there's a slight coffee.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah. As a
It's pretty good.
bourbon,
Taste woods.
you know, a slight wood influence, but not as
Not heavy.
No.
There's nothing heavy to it.
No, it's very light for.
yeah, delightful whiskey.
This was 45%, whereas this was 47.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leave just a little dab in the rest of those just for consideration going forward.
Well, I
Because
think
we're going to have some eliminations.
if he needs a refill.
True, very true. I think I got enough for refills.
That doesn't have a 2% bite to it between the
No.
No. So as a bourbon, Maker's 46. I'll be honest, I'm going to go ahead and give it 3 stars.
I'm sticking with 3 because it's comparable enough to standard Maker's Mark, but it's unique enough that I like it, but it's not something I'd rush out for.
Yeah, if I were to serve someone this, or if I had a whiskey aficionado, I don't think they'd feel terribly underserved with this. I mean, but we're about to get into some deeper waters here in a moment. But, so
Okay.
what star would you give this, Maker's 46?
I'd probably go 3 1/4. Just
All right.
Better than the standard by a little
it
bit.
does, like I said, it doesn't have the bite to it. I'd say this would be more entry level than the stock for sure.
Well, yeah, this one.
I mean, to
this is
introduce-
one that you would. I'll be honest. I would keep this around on my bottom shelf as a readily available well whiskey that will actually be good. You know,
Yeah.
like people will actually enjoy it. You can cocktail it. This bottle cost me $17, so you're not gonna feel like you're just overspending.
Sure.
And you can drink it neat on the rocks, cocktail.
I'd say I
however you
think
wanna-
that one would be really
good on the rocks.
good on the rocks because it already has a cool element to not the flavor profile, but the experience on your palate.
Now, where would you two shelve this particular offering?
Bottom.
Yeah, it's.
Let's see.
I'd probably
He
say
was
the bottom.
thinking middle, but we'll see what happens.
Within arm's reach.
Okay.
Yes, for easy reaching.
Yeah.
Now, Makers 101,
Let's get hot.
the new release. You have to go to the distillery to get this, or go basically do international traveling, and because international travel isn't really possible now,
Where is their duty free in Nebraska?
no.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think no, there's not. There's
No.
not.
May
I
I
think so.
ask where you found it?
No, this one
Now.
is now released to the general public. You can get
Just
this
recently,
anywhere. This is the
yeah.
first
Last
year.
year you couldn't.
Last year
Correct.
you could not. So what I like about this one is make a good gift because you know they've likely never had it before.
So, that's the thing, at least with travel restrictions in 2020, we had something good come out of it in the liquor world.
A reason to
Boy,
come.
this one is sweet on the nose.
It's hot on the
It's
nose.
hot, but there's a sweet.
I definitely get more of the ethanol fragrant of heavy alcohol smelling liquors.
Well, it's 101.
I know, but
It's hard to mask that.
yeah. But there's something else paired with it that it's definitely grainy. It's sweet, but I'm not getting like a specific sweetness.
Getting
Not
like a
not a
sweet
vanilla.
apple. I'm getting sweet apple. But that's just me.
Maybe pear.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
Not like a crisp orchard fruit, but like
What are you
just a
getting,
sweet
sir? Whiskey?
Yeah.
whiskey.
Yeah.
All right. Also, this bottle, this whole 750 cost me under $40.
Okay.
I forget the exact. I think it's like 35 to 40.
It's
somewhere.
available and affordable, folks.
Yeah.
So far, all of them.
All right.
That don't drink like a 101.
Tastes better than it smells.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Very peppery.
There's pepper
I get that.
with a little bit of sweet on the front, but it
It's not a
disappears over the
peppermint,
pepper.
just a straight like a. The sweetness in there is not from like peppermint. The pepper's there, and then it's a hard candy, but I can't. Not like a butterscotch. Almost like a root beer barrel hard candy.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
What are you getting off this, sir?
Damn.
Woodsy? I mean,
It's got an earthy undertone, yeah.
Yeah,
am
I could see it. But
tasting
yeah, I'm
tasting
mostly...
the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're getting wood, you're tasting a bit of barrel there, which... Fresh
Alright.
oak.
That's
As
pretty
a-
damn good.
As
I
a
like
bourbon,
it.
how would you rate that?
I'm going to give that easily 3.5. I could go higher the more familiar I get with it.
In terms of the bourbons you've had in this life, sir, how would you rate that one?
I'd go 3. 3.
Okay.
It's, I don't know. I
It's
kinda
hot.
Like
It's earthy.
It is hot.
Yeah.
It's a little hot for me, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's at 101. You bet. I'm going to give it 3.75 as a bourbon. I really like this stuff.
It is, yeah, it's very good. I could easily go higher. It's just for the affordability price and the availability now, it's not a unicorn anymore. But I can see why this is going to easily overtake your 46 as far as something that people are going to want to keep on hand at all times. It's probably going to be the 101 now because people that like bourbon are wanting hot, spicy, not so much cool and approachable. So people with like a shelf full of Bookers, they're going for the 101 easily.
Bump mine up a quarter.
Okay. All right.
Talk me
Okay.
into it.
I sold him.
3.25. I'm 3.75, and what were you, 3.5?
Yes.
So, all right.
All right. We're right,
All right.
right in lane.
Shelving.
I'm going to go middle. I really like it, but it's not a top shelf.
I'm gonna set it next to the 46 so I can explain where I got.
There
that.
you go.
Fair enough. You're going to not agree with me here, but that's middle to top.
I can't put that on the top.
I understand, but I don't know, just to my personal palate,
Sure.
it's a little spicy, but with just some ice or mixing it with anything, it cuts all the spice out and it keeps all the sweet. My brother and I went through a bottle of this. My dad had a little bit, but my brother and I mostly knocked this out. And
you're a Booker's mark.
Yeah, but this is Makers. So Booker's is not weeded. This one is. So Weller's is. Pappy's
Yes,
are.
it is.
And that's why the joke is they sometimes refer to Makers as Red Wax Pappy. So,
I hadn't heard that.
All right.
alrighty. Now we move on to the private select.
Yes.
Here you can get this particular weeder at the still in
you've
Lincoln,
got to come
Nebraska.
to Lincoln, Nebraska to get this specific inclusion. I would love to see how many offerings of store picks there are out there.
Which ones are the checks on the back or?
Yeah, it tells you all the data you need to know, all the differences. Not only was that one at the still, but we saw one in Omaha at Spirit World had an offering as well.
Yep, they
Actually,
had
the still had another one already.
Yep, a new batch, but I know I like this batch, so I've just been buying bottles of that old batch, remember? And they only got one box left of the old batch, so...
You're probably going to pick up another one, aren't you? Because you really
Well,
like
we'll
this
see.
stuff.
Bottle or box?
We will see. What's your nose impression? This does not smell like 109 proof, to be honest.
I don't know. That first whiff you get, it's close.
Maybe I've just...
Not as hot as the last one.
Yeah, but this one's 109. This one's 101.
That's what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
one doesn't smell.
Where this one smells peppery, this one smells pepperminty.
Just
Okay.
a lot smoother to me. I'm even getting some caramel. But you know me, if I can pick up caramel in a whiskey...
You're sold.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Why do you think I like Blanton so much? Just all caramel in the bottle.
I don't know. This one's got a really heavy grain alcohol scent to me. I like it.
Maybe I've just trained my nose to get past the ethanol because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Because
You've
I'm...
singed the hairs already.
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
If you get in there, like, this really cleans your sinuses. It does.
There's an oily sweetness in there.
There is. There you go. It's oily on the nose. That's a good way to put it.
Well,
I'm breathing.
I
fine.
love the nose on this, but I definitely get that ethanol.
Let's see how she goes down.
Forget about it.
Very minty.
Toffee. Oh, yeah. Oh, spicy. Spicy in such a good way. And then the
I'm getting
lingering...
more of a coffee beans.
I was
than
gonna say,
toffee.
I was
Yeah.
going with coffee.
Yeah. The longer it sits, the more coffee. Not a mocha, but...
Smooth.
Oh, God, it's smooth.
Dangerously smooth.
Yeah, for the proof that it is, it's very dangerously smooth.
Oh, my.
Honestly, it's probably the smoothest until you go back to the original, I think.
Because I found 101 way smoother than the original. It just didn't work for me, I guess.
Well, the original's entry level smooth. It's approachable. It gets the job done. Then you get different levels of spicy, and then you get to the high ABV of this one, and then it just goes down so smooth. Maybe it's because we've had 3 others, but I think it's pretty smooth.
What nonsense you say.
I don't know.
But,
I really like this one.
All right. As a bourbon, 5-star scale.
4. I love it.
Give me 3.75.
3.75. I'm going to be a little more than you and give it 4.25. I
Had a
really
feeling.
like this stuff.
Had a feeling.
This is the second bottle of this
Yeah.
I've bought because it's just that good.
And the store picks run around, what, $70 a pop?
Yeah, about $70.
At least they do
so
here.
70, about 39, 20, and this little 375 cost me about $17. So that's kind of the descending order in price, I'm guessing. So, shelving in terms of this particular whiskey, where would you put that?
That's got to be top.
I would put that on the top. It's a good enough representation of the maker's mark, but also once somebody tries it that really likes a hot bourbon that goes down smooth, they're going to understand why that's on the top shelf.
I was about to say, I think we're going to have to put this up against some other wheaters in particular in the future just to see how they stack up. But before we get there, now it is time for the eliminations and nominations.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with Maker's Mark Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, their base offering.
Argument for,
And argument against.
it's approachable, it's familiar, it's pretty standard. Argument against, everything I just said, copy.
Yep.
Nothing special, but nothing bad.
Yeah.
The argument for is that this would be an excellent representation of the base Maker's Mark line. The argument against is that there's much better whiskeys in our line. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say the Maker's Mark baseline, I'm afraid you have been eliminated. Maker's 46. Give this one another consideration in your glass, gentlemen. Give it another little sip. A lot more chocolatey notes have come out now that it's sit.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Almost like a candy, a dark chocolate with like bits of pretzel. I don't know why that's where my mind went.
So this would not...
But it's still very cool on the palate.
So, Jermz, let me ask you before we start getting there, out of these 3 that we have left,
Yes, sir.
what's your personal favorite?
Personal favorite?
Tony?
Yeah.
Out of these 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good whiskey, but the Private Select is a better whiskey is what I'm hearing from you guys?
Yeah. I think that the coolness is
This
why
is
I
a
like
good
it.
whiskey, but I'm glad that their better offering is actually a better whiskey.
Yeah.
That's so Maker's 46, you're an excellent offering, but now it comes down. I was truly expecting Maker's 101 to be the shock winner in this. I thought it was going to walk away with it. I was going to take it. So let's give it one more moment. Let's consider Maker's 101 one more time.
The flavors are there. It's
then-
really good. It's really smooth. But that hot pepper kind of overtakes all the other flavorings. Not in a bad way, but
It's the pepper ends it.
yeah. It starts there, it's in the middle, and it ends it. It's kind of intrusive if you're trying to pick apart all the different intricacies of it.
Which I took a little drink of 101,
Wow.
and then a drink of the Private Select.
You know,
Back to back, and
neither would be offensive to move on to the next round. That's the thing.
no, neither of them would.
No.
But I
Case
think
for, case against?
the case for is that this is a unique offering that has never made it into most bourbon shelves,
Okay.
and this has been a lot of people's unicorns for a lot of years, so it'd be a good one to compare. The case against is I've also got other random casts of characters that I can bring here for blind taste testings to make an appeals process to see if certain whiskeys can make their way back into a second round.
Okay.
This will be one of them that I'm going to put into a blind taste test appeals process
Okay.
with a couple other cast members in the future.
I-
But I tried them both back to back, and that one with 8% more alcohol drank as smooth or smoother.
Yeah, that's the thing. The problem for me, I guess my case for this is it's good, it's smooth, it's now a standard of the line. People are going to be familiar with it, and that's kind of my case against that, is that this is only available to very select few people within our region. So,
But
that's also a good case for it, and I do still prefer that just
I
a
was
little
about to
bit more.
say, what I gotta say is, guys, we gotta go with what's the best whiskey.
That's fair. That's fair.
And so, Jermz, you finished all 4 glasses.
Oops.
No. He's a good boy. He
Well-
finished his greens when he was a boy.
I was gonna
I
s-
to be a
was about to say, there's poor sober people out there, and you need to
It's got
consider them.
So before I go any further, what are we moving forward in the bourbon tournament?
Jermz, what's your vote?
101 sits down.
101 sits down. Tony,
I'm in agreement.
I'm going to have to agree with both of you. 101. We'll probably do a review of that versus Wild
Gonna put
Turkey
it right
101.
there.
I'm sure there's a consolation
Gonna
coming
put it
somewhere.
right there.
Yep, there's a
I'm gonna put
consolation.
that right
So yeah,
there.
these are the ones that didn't make it. But
The King Supreme.
Maker's Private Select. If you have a chance to pick up a store pick of Maker's anywhere around you, and we knew this was coming. Blendmaster Tony must blend. Yep. He does this with everything.
Not everything.
I do that in my belly.
Everything. Yeah, we've all got
It's
that.
better to try it on the nose and the palate first before you
So-
just shove it into the belly and go, hey, you deal with it. Wow, that doesn't smell hot at all. Somehow that cancels every hot smell out.
46 must be on top.
Maybe it is, yeah.
Give it a little palate there, T. See what you think.
Honestly, it's very approachable on the nose. Wow. Never mind. That goes into the freaking tournament.
Oh, great.
The
The Blendmaster here.
It's very. It tastes hot. It doesn't smell hot at all.
No.
But you get kind of the best of. You get your base blend out of the regular. You get that cool that you get out of this. You get your hot pepper here, and then you get your sweet notes that are hidden in a very high ABV alcohol. You get the best of all 4. Honestly, it's a very nice blend.
So the Blendmaster Tony G has spoken.
And
Where's he going?
I don't know where he's going. We'll figure it out. So, Maker's Private Select has done it, folks. I figured this was going to be the
Oh, has he
winner,
got a stone?
but I wanted to. Yep, he's got. I bet that's just going to be terrible.
no, it's gonna be awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just... Yeah, Maker's on the Rocks is usually pretty good, regardless of which one. So,
Wow.
a Maker's Blend on the Rocks we have determined is actually pretty good.
A minus right there, folks.
A minus, nice. So, folks, we have determined which whiskey will move onward and upward in the bourbon tournament. Maker's Mark official representative is the Maker's Private Select. And folks, if you got a chance to get a bottle of this in your town, if you're one of those folks freaking out trying to get your hands on a weeded bourbon, store picks are some of the best values in whiskey.
I think that's going to be one we have to do a full-on
yes.
solo review on. And honestly, that's one of those that I want to recommend to people. Anybody who's traveling around the country to try to find unique bourbons and whiskeys, like, go out of your way. Or if you're passing through, because you probably have to get to where you want to go, stop in Lincoln, get you a bottle of that while it's still available, which probably not going to be much longer.
No. But, folks, this has been our edition as to what will be the Maker's Mark representative. Jermz, any last things you'd like to say to the people?
Hope you enjoy them.
All right, folks. As I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us for our entrant into the bourbon tournament. Maker's Mark Private Select moves on. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partners.
The Blend Master, I approve. Tony G, thank you.
Jermz.
Like, share, subscribe, KOE Nation. More to come on the bourbon tournament, folks. Later.